Hey cats, peeing out in the driveway? No, just kidding. But I could if I wanted to. I mean, there's nobody around here to see. We got some snow last night and the temperature dropped considerably. It's chilly, but the sun's out. Sun's been beating on the garage doors, so it should be warm in the man cave. So I'm gonna head in there. It is 35 inside, and it's warming up. I mean, oh yeah, those garage doors are warm, so that's radiating heat in here. It's going to heat up fast. Hey cats, what's happening? Good morning. I was thinking back about this cat that I used to work with. He was a full-patched member of the Zulu MC in Akron, Ohio. And he was a real cool dude. And he and I worked together quite a bit. He was often driving truck and working on the construction sites. When you're a truck driver, sometimes you just got to back up with the load and wait until we're ready for it. And so he'd get out of the truck and we'd chat quite a bit and have some good camaraderie, and he always had me laughing. He was a great guy. Aside from that, though, he and I would go out riding together. And not with the club, not affiliated with the club, just him and I would go out riding. But the thing I was remembering about him, he told me a while ago, he said, this was many years, back in the 80s, And he said, man, if you ever drop your bike, if you ever lay the bike down, what you got to do, man, is you got to jump up on that thing and ride that thing like a surfboard. And it'll save you a lot of road rash. And I thought, okay, yeah, that'll work. You go down, you crash, and you got to jump up on the bike and ride it like a surfboard so you don't get road rash. How are you going to do that? Well, I never gave it much thought until recently when I saw this video. And now that I see this, I know that I guess it is humanly possible to jump up on the bike and ride it like a surfboard. I think the odds of actually doing that and coming out unscathed are going to be pretty rare. So I'm going to continue my work on the 175 Yamaha. You can see at this point that I've pulled all the clutch plates out, but I haven't removed the clutch yet. And the reason for that is it takes a specific tool. So you don't break these fins off or you don't damage the clutch to get this center nut off. I found it online. There's a company that makes those tools, and I went ahead and ordered it. So when it comes, it might come this week, it might come next week, I don't know. But when it does, then I can continue pulling that clutch off of there and see what's going on with this shifter arm and the disc there that is apparently where the disconnect is and where the damages are. And then I can continue with the repairs on that. I'm thinking there might be a broken spring in there, a broken return spring, so that might be the problem. But there might be a little more going on there too, but we'll find out. But in the meantime, there's still other things I can do, and one of the things I think I'm going to do is work on the muffler, the exhaust. Now, there is, where did I put it here? There's this chrome piece that goes on. It fits on here. Well, it's upside down, so it fits on like this. And it's kind of, a guard to keep your leg from going up against the hot pipe if, you were to touch on that. And then the other thing is, I've got 1, 2, 3 broken off bolts. That's one of the things when you work on mechanics. Inevitably, you're going to break off a bolt. It's like the worst nightmare because that opens a whole can of beans. There are methods to get those broken bolts out, but it's not fun, and my experience has always been a fail. But today I'm going to try it again, and we'll see what's going to happen. Now, before I go any further, I did go to Harbor Freight the other day, and I bought some new tools. Let me show you one I got here. Is a circlip remover. It's just like a pair of pliers, but when you squeeze it, the two tips open. So you can insert it into the C-clip, open the C-clip, pull it off. And you know, there's other ways that you can, I call it jury rigging or half-assing tools. You know, snapping a pair of vice grips onto a crescent wrench with a screwdriver in the hole. And those never turn out well. You end up with stripped out bolts, damaged parts. This has got aluminum case, so you know you don't want to damage that. You want to make sure you got the right tools to do the right jobs. This is pretty cool. I got all these from Harbor Freight. This is an impact screwdriver. So you put your screwdriver tip in there, and for those Phillips head bolts, which I already took out, and I showed you I was whacking them with a hammer. But this is meant to be whacked on with a hammer, and when you whack on it, it actually, you know, when you hit it, the tip actually turns a little bit when you whack on it with a hammer. A screw extractor set. And I'm going to use this today on these screws. I also got a metric tap and die set, which I needed. I had an SAE tap and die set, but I never had the metric one. And, you know, I'm probably going to use the metric one on this just to clean out the threads. And specifically on these, after I tap these out, I'll use the metric tap, and I'll clean those threads out. And I also ordered some new bolts, so I'll replace these Phillips heads with hex heads. You know, I always wondered why there's SAE and there's metric threads. You never know what you're going to get. You take a screw out and, you know, you're looking at it and you're matching up. Is this metric or is this standard SAE? What is, and then you find out that it's the one that you don't have, or, you know, so why didn't they just make screws all the same thread pattern? You know, if they were all metric, that'd be fine. All of them, everything metric. But no, you know, even when you get a socket set, you got a set of standard SAE, you got a standard set of metrics. So you got to have both. If you don't have both, you got to go out and buy them. I also bought a bottle of semi-permanent blue thread locker. You know, there's different levels of it. You know, if you get the permanent stuff, you'd have a hard time getting those bolts back out. This is semi-permanent, so it'll keep the bolts from vibrating loose, but you can still crack them loose when you have to. This was my older set of Craftsman extractor tools, and you'll see I snapped that one right off. Keep a little bit of oil in there too. Keep it lubricated while we're drilling. Now that I got it drilled out, I'm going to use my tap, and I got this little crescent wrench. Let's see if I can get that started. Yeah. And I'm just going to clean those threads out. I wasn't able to extract the screw, but I was able to drill out the hole with a little bigger of a drill bit. As long as I can get a screw Oh yeah, so that'll work. So that's one down. And I got the last one done. Perfect. Got them all tapped out, drilled out. 1, 2, all 3 of them. All ready for new bolts. I can put that thing back together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all the rust off of this and paint it with some heat paint, you know, some flat black heat resistant paint. And it'll look like a brand new exhaust pipe. Now it does look like at one point or another somebody did some half-ass welding on here, and it appears that the exhaust is leaking right there too, so I don't know if I'll do anything with that or just leave well enough alone. We'll see. Well, at the end of the day, here's what I ended up with. Yeah, the muffler looks brand new. The only thing I'm waiting for is the metric bolts that I need to fasten this thing down with. But other than that, that thing's looking pretty sharp now. Well, cats, thanks for hanging out with me today. I have a special request that we keep a friend of mine in your thoughts and prayers, Gary and his wife Annette in California. Gary just had to have some major back surgery, and it hasn't gone well at all. He ended up getting an infection, among other things, and he's in the hospital, not doing good, and he needs your thoughts and prayers. And also keep his wife Annette in mind, as she also struggles with health issues, and you know, having this on top of that just makes life incredibly difficult for them. Keep all you guys in my prayers too. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and join me along this ride. Till next time, cats, ride hard and die free.